Are you one of the individuals who detest these tiny crawling things? Or are these ones with stingers more frightening to you? Have you ever wished that all insects would simply vanish from the earth? Picnics would be considerably more lovely. The same goes for gardening. If the insects go away, could it make the world a better place? Or would this have terrible repercussions that we might not immediately notice? If all insects disappeared from the planet, here is what would happen. You are mistaken if you believe that bugs only exist to give you the creeps and to chew on the lettuce in your garden. True, but not entirely. In fact, some of them are designed to harm crops, irritate the skin in addition to causing painful stings, and, even worse, spread diseases like Zika and malaria. However, 90% of them are beneficial to us and the planet in addition to being harmless. The world, according to legend, would crumble without insects. How bad would that be, exactly? In the event that we put every one of the bugs in the world together on a scale, they would weigh roughly multiple times more than all people joined. If you are afraid of insects, you probably want me to stop right here. However, the ants themselves would weigh more than all humans combined. Farmers would be the first to rejoice if our planet suddenly shed all of this weight because they wouldn't have to spray their crops with chemicals to protect their harvest from hungry pests. However, that celebration would not last very long. We would all starve to death if insects were not present. And no, we are not implying that the brave travelers who eat grasshoppers and crickets in Thailand would starve. Insects are the glue that holds the food chain together, whereas humans are its prey. Some reptiles, small birds, and frogs eat them. Animals would also cease to exist if all insects vanished. The animals that eat frogs and reptiles would die out next, followed by those further up the food chain. This disruption would eventually spread to humans. Think going vegan would help you get by? Again, wrong. Because flowering plants require pollination to reproduce, flowering plants account for 80% of all plant life on the planet. By physically transferring pollen from a male anther to a female stigma, insects are responsible for this. You could argue that even wind, bats, and birds can pollinate. In any case, the greater part of the work is finished by honeybees, wasps, moths, butterflies, and flies. For most plants, it's game over without them. Those flowering plants account for 50 to 90% of your diet, depending on your preferences. There wouldn't be any rice, wheat, vegetables, or fruit. Additionally, there will be no food for cows, chicken, and the majority of freshwater fish, all of the animals that humans consume. You would have no chance of long-term survival if the insects disappeared, regardless of whether you are a vegetarian or a meat lover. On a planet full of organic waste, you would be left to slowly starve. Because in addition to providing food for small animals and pollinating plants, insects are significant decomposers of dead materials, including corpses and leaves. You wouldn't want to leave that kind of world. And, let's be honest, not all of the insects are disgusting, don't you think?